Hey, Boomerang family, Dr. Maningas here. We are in wonderful Scottsdale, Arizona. This crowd is so much fun, and we are bringing to you a live demonstration. We're talking about our Define, which is coming up next after the break, and our Evolve Transform. So when we think about this, we are using hands-free radio frequency to remodel the soft tissue envelope. So let's start with the abdomen first. So we have 4 applicators that wonderful Jim has put on. The key to the applicators, 2 simple keys. Make sure you have ultrasound gel on. That's easy. And make sure you have good contact. If you can do that, you can work this thing. And then let's go over to the interface really quick. There's some unique stuff on this interface that makes it so cool. So Jim has selected a few opportunities that you as the medical provider get to select. If you look at the far screen left, that is our elapsed treatment time. You get to decide that. Are we going 30 minutes, 45 minutes? Time equals depth. Time equals depth. So the longer I have it on, the deeper the energy is being driven. So if I have a love handle that's pretty fluffy, I'm going to want to go a longer time. Does that make sense? Time equals depth. If I've got that little chicken skin in that armpit that you saw, I don't need much time there. I don't need much time there, and I'm using it tight. So the elapsed time is telling us to attribute. RF power is our gas pedal. Listen up, because everyone gets so confused. As I travel the country, everyone gets very, very confused on this. It's the gas pedal. What do you mean by that? So my RF power, if I go up to 30, it's like putting my foot on the gas. Remember, my finish line that I'm driving towards is my endpoint temperature. My endpoint temperature is the goal. That's the finish line that I'm driving towards. If I increase the RF power, I'm stepping on the gas pedal. I'm getting to my finish line quicker. So it is not, NOT, RF power is not indicative of the success of your treatment, meaning RF power 30 is not a better treatment than 20. RF power 40 is not a better treatment of 20. I'm just going to get to my endpoint temperature quicker with 40 or 30 than 20. Does that make sense? So I just get there quicker, but I'm going to get there either way. Okay, so I told you this is pain-free, and that's not a lie, but one area of what we call heat discomfort is if you crank this up to RF power 18.5 million. And do you know the story of the frog in the boiling water? I don't know if that holds any truth, but you put a frog, if the water's already boiling, he's going to feel it and it hurts and he jumps out. I think he'd actually probably just roast, but that's the wives' tale. If you put a frog in tepid room temperature water and you slowly crank it up, he can't tell the ambient change until it gets to boiling and he just sits in there. Same thing here. If you crank this RF power way up, they're going to get hot really quick and they're going to let you know, hey, that's a little hot, doc. So rather, Jim will start him at 20, and then he'll slowly crank him up on this ramp-up period and get him up to whatever you want to, but slowly over time. And when I say slowly, it's like 1-2 minutes, Jim, like 2 minutes, right? So we'll make sure Jim's mic on there. Is it on? Okay. We'll make sure that you just slowly dial it up over the first couple minutes. Yep. Cutoff, Jim decided at 42 degrees Celsius. That's based on the patient's exam and their anatomy. And then our treatment time. EMS intensity, we've got the device on there that does RF and EMS, okay? And so we get to select the EMS intensity, how strong are our muscles contracting. Same thing here. If I increase that, they can tell you, man, that's a strong muscle contraction. So he will slowly over time increase the EMS intensity up to what they can tolerate. And then we just sit like this. So we'll go back to our patient friend. So when you look, how does this feel? Any pain at all? No? She says, kind of weird, no pain. It's a little warm maybe. And you guys can see when that muscle, that EMS hits, you can come up here and see those abs contract. And so this that she has on is our up to the chin, my friend, is the Define. We will roll that out after this next break. I just wanted you to see it while we're here. We'll go up to this chin. And then this is the Define headpiece. Stay tuned. We'll launch that when you guys get back. But this is what this looks like on our patient. We're treating the submental area at the same time as her abs. Exact same science. Exact same principles. When you look at the Define interface over here, screen left, we have similar opportunities or options, but just we don't have the EMS. There's no EMS with this one, but we have our RF power, our elapsed treatment time, our cutoff temperature, and then this is the visual indicators. So this is telling me my goal's around 43 is what Jim has set. So this is at 43. And sequentially, it's power on, power off, power on. And it's measuring 1,000 times per second, applying RF until we get to our endpoint temperature. And guess what happens when we get to our endpoint temp? No energy. And then when that drops right below the endpoint temp, energy back on, and I can hold this at temperature for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever my protocol calls for. Very user-friendly, very consistent, very reliable.